And what I find very interesting with you is that you come up with a plan which is customized to each film, which means
Yeah.
that if this is an out and out, I mean, you are very sure it will make money, you go to private equity. And if there is a film that, or a studio or whatever, or if there is a film which has a risky subject, we don't know if it is going to be distributed, instead of outright saying, okay, we can't do this because we don't know if we'll be able to make money, you put your grant brain on it, or you make your soft funding brain on it. Talk a little bit about those two ways of raising money.
Now, Anshalika brought out the whole idea of how do you structure a project. It is as complicated as putting a rocket ship in space. Let me be very clear. When people say it's no rocket science, no, it's absolutely like from day one to day's distribution done, and you're moving on to your next film. It is a lot of heads coming together to make that one day happen. See on set, right? But also a lot of brains coming together to really set you up for success. Anybody who comes and tells you that here is the money, let's go on the floor in 3 months, please question that. Ask them, what is your plan? What is the plan to be able to? What is the first of all the budget? That's a very big important point, right? And I talk about it for my first time filmmakers a lot. Uh, but it's very important to understand whether your investors will make money, right? There will be a lot of people who will give you money, but they'll never come around to giving it to you again if you don't make them money in the first film, right? And other producers are also looking at that metric. Don't think that that metric is not important, right? And let me just say what something that is very important for you at all levels who are starting out with their first or second feature length films, right? Or writing scripts. Script recognitions is what we call you going into labs, you going into co-production markets, you and your producing partners going and tapping into financing markets, financing opportunities that exist outside of the country, right? Remove this cloak of desperation is what I would say. I removed it very early because I saw that it didn't help. I just, yeah, I used to go to a lot of people and saying you can make my shit happen, and that doesn't work. There is a beautiful talk that I actually shared last time as well, and I'll send it to Anshalika and she can forward it to you guys. It's by Ava DuVernay.
Mhm.
Ava DuVernay, I must take her example as well. I don't know if you've seen her works, but please watch it. Her latest film, Origin, is just getting is now in theaters. Well, being Ava DuVernay, who had done such exceptional work, had an output first look conversation with a lot of studios here, did not find funding for Origin.
Oh.
So what she did was she went and she got money from foundations. She
Mm.
went to Bill and Melinda Gates and said, I want money to make my film. And despite their own, and she went to billionaire philanthropists who were interested in her wanting to make this film. She made the film. And now she did not premiere it she did get invitations from all top festivals to premiere it. She did not premiere it in the top festivals. She went to the B level festivals, being Ava DuVernay. And now she's literally going theater by theater, city by city, distributing it on her own.
Wow.
So, see, even at that level,
Add one thing to what you said, the cloak of desperation. I think it's a great topic to talk about, which is a lot of people think that people go towards foundation money or grant money or crowdfunding because all other avenues are not happening. A studio may be saying no, or private investors might not be looking at it. But as a producer, both, I mean, Apoorva and I realized that actually this is a choice one has to make. These are all options according to a project. It is not one way or the other. And then most honest producers will do that. The second thing that she said about labs, and I always say this to, it's so funny that the expectations from the filmmakers is very different from people who are trying to get into IIT and IIM. And let me give you an example. When you sit for a GRE or a GMAT, or you get into an IIT and then a McKinsey or a very big company hires you, all these people, whether it's a GRE test, a GMAT test, or an IIT or an IIM, these are all your filters. They are filtering out the best of the lot to position you in front of the best companies. The labs, the festivals, the all these workshops, these are those avatars in the film industry where you have to get in. A lot of filmmakers think, oh, can I just skip this and just pitch something and then I get in? These shortcuts are not there. And it is the same as you can't get into a McKinsey without going through an IIM, without going to a Harvard, whatever, right? So there are no shortcuts, and these are the gatekeepers who are going to tell a producer like an Apoorva, look at this script, we've gone through it, and it is good, and now whatever. It doesn't guarantee anything, but if she or any producer is given 5 scripts on a particular day to read, they are going to choose the one which comes with a stamp of approval from a organization. It's very simple, right? So getting into labs is very important.
Why do you need these labs?
Mm.
Why do you need somebody to tell you why? And then
Mm.
you have to justify it, right? Your scenes, your characters, your journeys, um, what will resonate more globally. And global labs, what they do is they really give you a perspective that you've not thought of, an angle that you've not thought of, or a win that, oh my God, it's really globally relatable. That
Yes.
somebody in Japan who's sitting and who's doctoring a script is feeling everything that you have wanted your audience to feel.
Mm.
And that gives you a double stamp, not just as a stamp of recognition, which we say, obviously, these labs are important, but also your script doctors who become a part of your journey, without whom your film will not be as the version of the film that you want to tell. Right now, don't be married to it, is all I would request.
Thank you so much. Your talk has actually been so inspiring and heartwarming, and you're such a lovely person. And it's really interesting that you mentioned about, working with first timers. And my question is exactly this: is that as a first time director, I mean, bhale hi script likha ho, but what do you look for in a first time director when collaborating with them?
Uh,
A
I
first
think
time
the first
narrative director, I would say.
Yeah, first things first, guys, like, pick up the iPhone and go shoot a 5-minute scene. Go shoot a film. Please don't give me this excuse that we didn't get funding for our short film. This is by tutelage across the world. You're supposed to make your short film. Test it for yourselves, right? Like, what fear do you have? You should write a scene and go pick up your iPhone, take a tripod, and go shoot that scene. If you come to me without any previous work, then all my expectations rest on the script. And yet, even with my first timers right now, they are all doing their own self funded short films.
Mm.
I'm not funding it. I'm not going to give you the money to go first. Now prove it to me whether you are capable as well. Right? Go do that well in advance of going out to your producers, studios, anybody, because what happens is that then there's just no reason to wait. Sean made a film on iPhone which went to the Oscars, so please, you don't have any excuse to saying मेरी short film कोई finance नहीं करना चाह रहा था. Don't write short films at a 25 lakhs worth of making, like,
Mm.
because there's no recovery pattern. But you have an iPhone, or if you don't have one, or your friends have iPhones, take it and go shoot a film. That's what I would look at, Isha.
I was just curious, like how many of the projects that you end up taking on from development stage do end up getting made? You take up a slate, but how many of them become a reality? So just this phase. Yeah.
Most of the development, and I'm going to just generally talk about what are the hurdles that you can face, is one partner really loving it and the other not,
Mm.
right? That's something that will always, or part financing coming in. 15% is in, but the rest 85 is yet to be raised. So those are the developmental hurdles that then happen. And meanwhile, every subsequent partner coming in with giving notes, right? Like, okay, you can do this, and you constantly churning your wheel in terms of changing the script, and then at the end of the day, it not getting financed, right?
Mm.
Those are the kind of disappointments you have to set yourself up to accept. And very good producers, to be very honest, are very few, and they will start showing their traits, their way of dealing very early on. If producers come and say, "Ah, you don't know, you're a first timer, you don't know better," that's a very big red flag, right? If they come and tell you this is what is happening, what do you think? This is what the scenario is. What do you think? Just the way they approach addressing notes and giving feedback is also something that you should be wary of. Yeah, it's an ecosystem, and I just want to bring out a very important point that it's not like we don't fight. Oh my God, I fight with my creators like I will pull your hair apart and you will pull my hair apart, but we do not leave the room.
Hi, Purva. Thanks for
Yes.
inspiring us to tell our stories. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
so my
You should.
question was, I think you've already like answered parts of it, but like, what are your thoughts on the creative freedom for the director versus the input from the producer, especially from the director's perspective? Like, how do you strike a balance, draw a line when you get
You'll
into?
never be happy. You will never be happy. It's a given. No, I'm very serious about this. You will always feel like your vision was shortchanged. And either the studio came and gave notes and murdered it, or the producer did not fight for you enough, or the producer came and kind of like made it their own, right? You'll always have that kind of an interpretation. The only way to survive or get past that is it takes a bloody village to make a film. That means a part of each one of them will become a part of your vision. So you should be open, thankful, and the fact that it exists in the world is a bigger win than you not being able to shoot your one scene in the way you want it. Many a times, a particular note literally expands the audience that you were originally reaching out by 10 to 15%. Now, sit down and take that statistic if you are a statistically thinking brain, that you rather 10 people watch your film or 20.